Peppa Pig and the balloon. One day, Peppa notices a red balloon floating in the room.
Wow!
She gently taps the balloon, and it slowly drifts upward. Peppa and George jump up together, trying to touch the balloon. Suddenly, the balloon drifts to another corner of the room. Peppa and George quickly think of a new game. The balloon floats back and forth, turning the whole room into a fun little playground. Oh. Whoa. Yahoo! Oh.
Peppa and the shared umbrella. It's a rainy morning, and Peppa brings her favorite pink umbrella. She sees Wendy Wolf getting wet under a tree. Peppa smiles and shares her umbrella with Wendy. They walk together, splashing puddles and singing happily. Madame Gazelle says, "Sharing is wonderful." Peppa and Wendy smile under the pink umbrella.
Peppa and the hamburger. Peppa sits on a picnic blanket with a basket beside her. Peppa opens the basket and takes out a hamburger. Peppa looks at the sandwich happily.
Whoa!
George stands nearby and looks at the sandwich. Peppa holds the hamburger, about to eat. Suddenly, Peppa drops the sandwich onto the blanket. Peppa looks at the hamburger in surprise. George bends down and looks at the hamburger. Peppa picks up the hamburger. Peppa gives the hamburger to George. George holds the piece and smiles. Peppa takes another hamburger from the basket for herself. Then they eat the hamburger.
2 hours later.
Peppa stands up after eating. They run around the yard and laugh. Woo-hoo-hoo!
Peppa Pig and the shape-shifting cloud. Peppa and George sit on the grass in the garden. High above, white clouds drift slowly across the blue sky. George points up at the sky, excited. Peppa squints as she watches a big cloud drifting by. Daddy Pig sits nearby, holding a cup of water, and looks up at the two children. Mommy Pig sits beside them, smiling gently. The cloud slowly turns into the shape of a chubby little pig. Peppa jumps up excitedly and points at the sky. A moment later, the cloud stretches out and turns into the shape of a dinosaur. George's eyes light up, and he jumps up happily. The cloud slowly breaks apart into many small pieces and drifts away. Peppa and George laugh happily.
Peppa Pig and the hopscotch dance. Peppa held the chalk, completing the final strokes for square number 10. She stood at the starting line, taking a deep breath full of confidence. The numbers are ready! Peppa is preparing to perform her most skillful hopscotch jump ever. Hop away, Peppa. 1 foot, 2 feet. So skillful. Look how well she balances herself. It was George's turn. He tried to lift one leg but wobbled a little. George jumped with both feet into square number 1 and giggled. George wants to give it a try too. It's a bit tricky, but George is trying his very best. Let's reach the finish line together. Hopscotch not only keeps us healthy, but is also so much fun to play together.
Peppa was surprised to see a strange hat on the grass.
Huh? Whoa!
George ran over and touched it, lights twinkling from the hat.
Whoa!
Peppa put the hat on. Bubbles of light floated across the garden. Magical indeed. George tried the hat too, bubbles swirling around them, making them laugh out loud. The bubbles rose and settled on the tree branches, sparkling in the sunlight. They took off the hat, bubbles faded, but the magical joy lingered in the garden. Peppa and George walked into a forest full of colorful flowers. George discovered a small beehive on a branch and excitedly pointed it out to Peppa. Mommy Pig followed behind, reminding them, "Be gentle, don't scare the bees." Peppa and George picked a few flowers and put them in a small basket, smiling brightly. Daddy Pig brought a small cart to help them safely carry the basket of flowers out. Finally, the whole family stood in the flower forest, admiring the bright colors and laughing happily.
Peppa Pig and the Toy Trumpet. One day, Peppa finds a small toy trumpet on the floor. She picks it up and wonders how it works. Peppa gently blows into the trumpet, making a funny sound. George laughs happily when he hears the sound. Soon, George tries blowing the trumpet too. The little trumpet turns the room into a cheerful musical game for Peppa and George.
Peppa Pig and the ball rolling in the wind. The ball lies still on the grass. A gentle breeze blows. The ball slowly rolls away, even though no one touches it. Peppa widens her eyes and tilts her head as she watches. Peppa walks after the ball, without running fast. The ball rolls slowly, changing direction with the wind. George runs over and points at the ball. Just in time, Peppa catches up too. Peppa gently places her foot on the ball. Peppa gently kicks the ball over to George. George gently kicks the ball back to Peppa. Peppa kicks the ball too hard, and it flies up. Peppa and George run after the ball. Peppa hugs the ball in her arms. Peppa turns to George and smiles happily.
Peppa Pig and the Little Fan. One day, Peppa finds a small fan on the floor near the stairs.
Whoa!
She picks it up and turns it on. A gentle breeze blows, making Peppa feel amused. George puts his hand near the fan to feel the cool air. Peppa places a small piece of paper in front of the fan, and it lifts into the air. The little fan turns the moment into a fun and playful experience for Peppa and George. Peppa and the surprise gift.
Daddy Pig brings home a very big present. Peppa and George are so excited to see what's inside this mysterious box. One, two, three. Open it. It's a lovely little play tent. Now, let's set it up for a camping adventure. How wonderful! Peppa and George now have a little house of their own. The indoor camping trip has begun. A very special gift from Daddy Pig. Have a wonderful camping night, Peppa and George.
Whoa! Huh? Yippee! Woo-hoo-hoo! Yippee! Peppa Pig and the Little Mirror. One day, Peppa finds a small mirror on the living room sofa. She picks up the mirror and looks into it with curiosity. Peppa starts making funny faces in front of the mirror. George walks closer, curious to try it too. George laughs when he sees his reflection. The little mirror turns the moment into a fun and playful game for Peppa and George.
Peppa and George spotted a wooden bridge across a stream and decided to cross it. The wooden bridge seemed a bit wobbly, but Peppa is always the bravest one. Sometimes, even a leaf can throw off your balance, but Peppa never gives up. Halfway across, Peppa stops to admire the stream below, but George is worrying about her safety. The bridge shakes a little, but Peppa crosses it successfully. Now it's George's turn. Although George is a bit scared, Peppa is ready to help him face this challenge. Peppa and George were walking through a colorful flower field, surrounded by bright sunflowers and white daisies. Peppa sat down, picked a daisy, and handed it to George, making both of them smile. George held the flower and tried to smell it, but suddenly a gentle breeze blew, making the flower float away. Peppa quickly ran after the floating flower, and George chased after her, both of them laughing. Mummy and Daddy Pig stood by, watching as the kids ran after each other in the flower field, happily watching them. Finally, Peppa and George sat under a big tree in the flower field, looking at the flowers and feeling the simple joy of nature. Peppa and George spotted a wooden bridge across a stream and decided to cross it. The wooden bridge seemed a bit wobbly, but Peppa is always the bravest one. Sometimes, even a leaf can throw off your balance, but Peppa never gives up. Halfway across, Peppa stops to admire the stream below, but George is worrying about her safety. The bridge shakes a little, but Peppa crosses it successfully. Now it's George's turn. Although George is a bit scared, Peppa is ready to help him face this challenge. Peppa and George spotted a kite soaring high in the sky and decided to try flying their own kite. Peppa started running fast, pulling the kite up, but sometimes the wind just wouldn't cooperate. kite flew high and spun around, making Peppa stumble. But George was ready to help. Together, they ran, keeping the kite stable in the wind. Finally, the kite flew high in the clear blue sky, and Peppa and George felt so proud. Although the adventure was a bit tough, Peppa and George knew that joy came from the simplest moments. Peppa and George were walking in the park when they spotted a small wooden bridge over a clear stream.
Wow!
Peppa stepped onto the bridge, but it wobbled a little, making her feel a bit uneasy. George stood behind, feeling a little worried. Mummy Pig walked up, holding their hands and gently reassuring them. Take it slow, don't worry. The three of them crossed the bridge together, and Peppa and George were excited to see sparkling stones in the stream below. When they reached the middle of the bridge, they paused, taking in the fresh air and enjoying the peaceful moment. Finally, the whole family stood at the end of the bridge, watching the flowing stream and surrounding trees, enjoying the simple joys of life. Peppa and George walked into a forest full of colorful flowers. George discovered a small beehive on a branch and excitedly pointed it out to Peppa. Mommy Pig followed behind, reminding them, "Be gentle, don't scare the bees." Peppa and George picked a few flowers and put them in a small basket, smiling brightly. Daddy Pig brought a small cart to help them safely carry the basket of flowers out. Finally, the whole family stood in the flower forest, admiring the bright colors and laughing happily. Peppa and George spotted a rolling wheel in the yard and decided the adventure started here. This wheel seems to never stop, and Peppa had to run fast just to catch up. Despite trying, George couldn't catch the wheel, but he could only laugh after every fall. The wheel didn't just roll fast, it also created a fresh breeze of flowers in the park. Finally, the wheel stopped, and Peppa and George realized that sometimes the best adventures are the simplest ones. And in the end, Peppa and George understood that sometimes letting things roll is the most fun of all. Peppa and George were walking in the park when they spotted a small wooden bridge over a clear stream.
Wow!
Peppa stepped onto the bridge, but it wobbled a little, making her feel a bit uneasy. George stood behind, feeling a little worried. Mummy Pig walked up, holding their hands and gently reassuring them. Take it slow, don't worry. The three of them crossed the bridge together, and Peppa and George were excited to see sparkling stones in the stream below. When they reached the middle of the bridge, they paused, taking in the fresh air and enjoying the peaceful moment. Finally, the whole family stood at the end of the bridge, watching the flowing stream and surrounding trees, enjoying the simple joys of life.
Peppa Pig and the giant car. Peppa and George are surprised to see a giant car blocking their gate. The wheels of the car are even taller than Peppa. The huge car casts a long shadow over the garden. Inside, the car looks like a moving room. As the car slowly moves, the whole garden seems to shake. Peppa and George realize that sometimes the bigger something is, the more curious it becomes.
One lovely morning, Mummy Pig was tidying up the house. Daddy Pig came over with an idea. How about we go on a relaxing family trip? Peppa and George cheered with excitement.
Hours later.
The whole family quickly got ready, hopped into the car, and set off. On the way, everyone was laughing and chatting happily. When they arrived, Peppa and George eagerly went rowing, while Mummy and Daddy Pig enjoyed a romantic date together.
Peppa Pig and the dancing light bulb. As evening comes, Peppa and George turn on the light to keep playing. But today, the light bulb seems very lively. The light flickers in a steady rhythm. Their shadows on the wall begin to dance along. After a short performance, the light becomes normal again. Sometimes, even a simple light can bring an unexpected joy.
The magical weather battle. Whoa! Peppa and George have some truly magical weather wands. Wow! Peppa loves the bright summer. Look! The sun has woken up. But George wants to play in the snow. Chilly winter has arrived. Oh no! The weather is all mixed up. It's sunny and snowy at the same time. No matter the season, playing together is the best, isn't it?